All right. So here we go. We'll start the podcast now. So your name is Hunter, obviously. And
Yep.
my name is Connor, and this is Chris. We're with Metal Inside Me. As you know, we do podcasts and interview local bands and such. So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? Tell us your role in the band, introduce your band, all that.
All right. Yeah, my name's Hunter. Like I said, I'm the vocalist in City of Ruins. We're just south of Atlanta, Georgia.
So
Right. So why don't you go ahead and start by telling us how City of Ruins came to be, how you guys got the band together.
It's kind of a long story. Let's see. Let's see. It was about 2 years ago. I met Ian, my drummer. I met him on Facebook actually, in a just members of all the local bands that around here. And he had been down here a couple years because he was originally from Pennsylvania. He had moved down here and been wanting to get in another band, kind of join the local scene again. He saw that I was wanting to get a band together and met him. I had a guy that I knew from mutual friends in another school. He played guitar, so we got together and started going to the studio and started trying to write things. That's actually when we came out with our cover of "Taking Shots" by Post Malone.
nice.
That was the first thing we ever put out.
Yeah.
So we did that. After that, we wanted to go ahead and start writing. Well, the guitarist at the time, we weren't really working out with him, so we were looking for guitarist, bassist, pretty much anybody we really needed, and we came across Adam and Taylor. So for a long time, that's what City of Ruins was. We were Adam, Taylor, Ian, and me. Adam and Taylor are actually in the band Ortessa now. Have you ever heard of them? Okay.
I haven't.
They just put out 2 songs. They're very good also. Great guys. Everything they do is great. So that was City of Ruins for a little bit. We played together for probably about a year. Then after that, we just kind of started having different styles, writing styles, and different wants for the band. They were wanting more of a, I guess you could say, kind of the original OG metalcore sound, like 2008 sound.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is because they were a little older than me and Ian, so that's what they mainly listened to. Me and Ian were wanting to go for the more hardcore kind of sound, but still the melodic influences.
Mm-hmm.
So we just really weren't working out anymore. So we kind of parted ways with them, and that's what Artessa is now. Still great music. That's just not what we were wanting to write at the time.
Yeah.
So right now, City of Ruins is just me and Ian. We've got 2 guitarists in mind right now and a bassist, but we're just kind of seeing how things play out. We've got our EPs completely written. We're about to start tracking vocals. Actually, we just started tracking vocals for one song. That was last Saturday. So that's what we're working on right now.
Nice. That's a pretty interesting ride right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. So you have one single that was completely released, Worlds Away. Now, which lineup was that with?
That was with Adam and Taylor.
Okay. So those guys were in it at that point. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Everything that's been released was pretty much the beginning of City of Ruins. Right now, we don't have anything out because we are trying to take a different approach with it instead of being like everybody else, where we write a bunch of music, get our stuff together, start practicing, and immediately playing shows. We want to record everything, release some music, then start playing shows. Kind of play the social media game.
Yeah. No, that's definitely smart. So is the new music you're working on a little different than Worlds Away?
I would say it's definitely different, but it does have a lot of similar qualities to it.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, Worlds Away would have been our softest song.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, we weren't very heavy to begin with.
Yeah.
But that was more of our softer side.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but we're definitely keeping some influences from that, but still wanting to be a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Well, Connor, he read off to me in the message that you sent us a pretty distinct description for the kind of music that you guys are trying to play. And so I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your vision for the band, especially with regard to a song like Worlds Away. Is that very much what you're trying to make, or is your ideal vision of the music that you make something a little different or a little more specific?
honestly, it's me personally. I find it really hard to write music just because of the fact of I honestly, honest to God, listen to everything. I will go from listening to Lorna Shore to Britney Spears and not bat an eye about it. So I find it very hard to write because of the fact I'm like, oh yeah, let's go with this, and I start thinking, damn, that's a little too poppy.
Yeah.
So usually me and Ian have to sit down. We the guy we're going to the studio with. He helps us write all of our stuff right now. So he kind of has to sit there and kind of dial us back into like, all right, that's a good idea, but that's not the sound you're working with right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it really was too trying to find our sound. The first two songs we wrote are definitely sounding a little different than the rest of the EP, but we figured why not? Let's leave it on there. People may attract to those more than what we were wanting to write, and that may end up being what we should and need to sound like.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point. Chris,
Go ahead,
you wanna
Connor.
go? Do you mind telling us a little bit about the writing process of, you don't have to touch on kind of how the old band did it. I guess you and Ian now, how are you guys going through your writing process for this new EP?
Um, Pretty much we just sit down with Tyler. He's the guy we have the studio with.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually a guitarist in Shot Down South. Um, we go to the studio with him. We sit down and we kind of start pitching ideas about, all right, this is the kind of song we're going to want to go with. For example, our ballad song that we just started tracking vocals for. We knew we wanted something soft, different, completely different sounding from the rest of the EP. So we came in with the idea of, okay, Skin and Bones by Fit for a King, Enough Now by Bad Omens. We liked the aspect of the verses and choruses being very soft and really melodic, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Just that heartfelt, very vocal heavy, lyrically heavy style, and then building up to a huge chorus at the end. So what we did with that was obviously, like I said, came up with the two songs and came up with a riff and just went from there.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, it surprised me how quickly we've been knocking out songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to your credit, I actually thought of Fit for a King when I was listening to Worlds Away, and
Really?
not, yeah, and not in like a not in a negative way at all. I definitely would have categorized you with Fit for a King, August Burns Red, and that whole section of the metalcore subgenre. But to transition a little bit, I wanted to ask you about the Taking Shots cover, both how you guys went about making that, like what drove you to make it, and specifically, there was a whole wave of metalcore bands on YouTube who used pop covers as a way to market themselves. And so I was wondering if there was a marketing tactic attached to that, or if you just did it for fun.
It was a little bit of both. It originally was just a marketing tactic because at the time, me and Lou had just gotten together, had no idea of what we were really doing. We were just like, hey, I've got a studio. Let's go record this cover. Because I think when we did that song, that album had just come out a couple months ago at the time. So I remember sitting in the car with one of my friends I was like, hey, I want to do a Post Malone cover. Let's go through the album and let's kind of listen to see what would translate well to a metal song. Because in my personal opinion, I don't like it when people take pop songs and overdo them. They take something that was not written to be heavy at all and honestly just kind of ruin it. I wanted to find something that was going to translate well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, what was the original one that we wanted to do? I can't remember which one we were wanting to do. But I looked it up, and literally everybody on YouTube had already done a metal cover of it. I was like, well, that one's out. We're not doing that one. So then I went with taking shots. And as soon as we played the original version of it, I could already see how I wanted it laid out in my head. And when I showed it to Ian, he was like, I was thinking the same exact layout. So we just got to work on it.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Are you a big Post Malone fan?
A little bit. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of him. I have a lot of respect for him because not a lot of people in the public eye like that have respect for all genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least aren't vocal about it anyway. He's pretty vocal that he likes metal and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, I gotcha. When did you guys release Worlds Away?
Oh God. Hell, it's probably been a year now. A little over a year.
Okay, because that's my next kind of question. I guess part of this isn't really a question. I just wanted to compliment you guys on the fact that when we, are about to do an interview, we go research the band and everything we looked up about your band looked very professional. I mean, just from the art from Worlds Away, the production and mixing was super clean on the song, and you guys had a very legit looking website. And so you guys kind of already have like the very first step that a local band needs to do is to look and act professional and seem legit, which I mean,
absolutely.
and so I want to compliment you on that and then ask, so I'm guessing you guys have kind of tackled this stuff a while ago when Worlds Away was released. So who's like, who was tackling all that and kind of put that first foot forward and really kind of made you guys professional right off the bat?
A lot of that, I've got to give a lot of that credit to Adam, our old guitarist. He, his company, Airglow Digital, they build websites for companies.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he got all our merch. He actually started a brand, too, for bands and all kinds of other stuff called Distorted Merch. So our shirts were made by Distorted Merch.
Mm-hmm.
He did the website. He did pretty much anything that had to do with being seen. It was all Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Now the obviously, I know a lot of people talk about being act professional, be professional, stuff like that. We still kind of stick to that, but I feel a harder way than a lot of other people. A lot of stuff that we post isn't like joking or anything like that, or memes. I understand like memes are cool, all this other stuff, but a lot of the bigger bands, they don't do that kind of stuff. That's kind of a local band, mid-range band kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anything we do is pretty up there with the stuff that we post. We take a lot of consideration into what we do and post, which is why our Instagram is completely erased right now.
Yeah.
So on the topic of posturing as professional and whatnot, we have a broad question that we ask everyone, which is, what are your goals for the band? And you can take that as broadly or as specifically as you like.
Honestly, the truth is, at this point, with me and him, me and Ian have both kind of decided before we really kick things off again that this is probably gonna be the last time we really try. We're gonna put forth as much as we can to it, and if it just doesn't work out, it's one of those things that just not really going anywhere with it. We just a local band. Cool. Me and him both enjoy making music and playing music, so we'll probably just stick with that once that image becomes clear of no, you're kind of just here. We'll probably just continue to stick with it because we both love music. But the end goal that we are working at, and I honestly don't see us quitting anytime soon, working at, I want to be able to quit my job and pay bills doing this. If I can get a paycheck, pay all my bills, and be fine, I'm happy.
Yeah, we feel that.
Us too. Yeah.
One thing I've learned from saying that to people, though, is a lot of people kind of take that in a negative way. Oh, you're selling out, you're doing this. I'm sorry, I'm doing this to make a living.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
I want to write what I want, but I want it to pay my bills.
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody wants to make their passion their job, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, no, go ahead, Connor.
I was about to say, and honestly, I think a lot of people who are maybe take that as a negative way don't have a passion that could even possibly be a job, so they just don't understand.
Oh yeah, I'm lucky enough to be kind of doing both. My life pretty much revolves around cars and music, so I am a mechanic, and so I work on cars all day. And when I'm not doing that, I'm working on my own cars or writing music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Living the dream.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you were just talking about, how sometimes if you say you really want to make it and just, do this for a living, people take it in a negative way and they call you a sellout. And it's pretty well documented that a lot of hardcore scenes, local scenes, have that sort of success resentful mentality. And I was wondering if you've encountered a lot of that in your own scene, or if that's just a general, family friends sort of comment that you get.
I feel like it's kind of on both ends. It just depends on the people, because there are a lot of bands, local bands anyway, that are super cool, super laid back guys and agree. Then there's also the guys that are just like, oh, if you're just doing this to sell out, then why even do it? You gotta stick to the dream, man. No, it's a wide variety of people, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just over the years saying that to people, they've been like, don't do it to sell out. I'm not selling out. I'm trying to make a living off of it, but still do what I love.
Yeah. That's like saying you're selling out if you get a promotion at work. You're
Yeah.
doing your job. Like if you're successful at it, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're sold out because you did good at your job.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh gosh.
So, what is the local Atlanta metal scene like?
Oh man, it's been crazy. Because I've been in the scene since, let's see, I want to say about 5 years. My first band was right at the end of high school. It's been weird. I honestly feel bad about saying this, but I don't know a lot of local bands anymore, because all the bands I was playing with in high school either aren't around anymore, they completely disbanded, or you don't ever hear from them. And I just kind of see them at a show one day. I'm like, oh, dude, what's that? How y'all been?
Yeah.
So it's good though when there are. That's one thing I do miss is the bands that actually stick around. Making that connection with them and seeing them at different shows and everything. I miss that. I miss knowing the guys I'm playing with versus, oh, it's their first show. It's their second show. It's cool. It's nice to see new bands, but I miss that connection you had with knowing the bands.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I don't think the local scene's died at all. I think it's definitely kicking right now, honestly. But in a way, I think it's kind of died because all those bands I knew when I first started just kind of aren't around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the local Atlanta scene, is there a predominant metal subgenre? Like, oh, this is a hardcore city. This is a metalcore city.
I'm gonna have to probably go with hardcore. Hardcore's been kind of a thing around here now. Hardcore and have y'all listened to Left to Suffer?
Mm-mm.
I think I've heard a little bit. Yeah.
They are the big Atlanta band right now.
Yeah.
If y'all need to check Let the Suffer Out. Taylor Barber is a phenomenal vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, for sure. It seems like hardcore is taking over the world right now. But yeah. So how has life in a band in Cities of Ruin been during quarantine? How have you guys been holding up?
Actually, it hasn't been bad because I say this in a light-hearted way. Right when quarantine kind of started, my drummer broke his foot. So it was kind of like well, we can't really do anything in the studio right now. All right, cool. I guess you have a broken foot. We're stuck at home. Now we have a real excuse to be stuck at home because you have a broken foot.
True.
Yeah.
It kind of sucked on my end because the first thing that hit was really money-wise with quarantine. Because me being a mechanic, I don't get paid unless I'm working on a car and people were not coming in.
Yeah, because they stopped driving.
Yeah, so it wasn't fun at first. I got kind of worried about it because I was like, "No, man, we were doing so good. We were pumping out songs and we were getting stuff done." And it just kind of came to a halt. And I was like, "This sucked." Saturday was our first time back, actually.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah, I was very excited to be back up there, especially to start tracking vocals. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing metal vocals?
Oh, probably since I was like 15, 16. Honestly, I mean, I think everybody is when they first start out. I was god awful when I first started. But I mean, I don't want to say that I'm great, but I have definitely gotten better. I'm still not the best, and there's still a lot that I want to learn. But I think that's also part of being a vocalist is that you want to constantly improve. Because over the past I want to say probably the past 3 years, I've been really wanting to work on singing. So I've been pushing myself to try to do a lot more singing, which is Worlds Away was the first thing I ever. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Taking Shots, but that was more kind of like rap singing.
Yeah.
But Worlds Away was the first thing of me actually singing, so I was really proud of that.
Yeah. How important is it to you to have weighty or significant lyrics? I mean, how do you approach lyrical writing?
Honestly, it's more of I'm not the best at writing straight out, and I think it's mainly because I have horrible ADD. So I'll get a good couple lines, and then my mind will wander off to like, oh no, let's start talking about this, and then I'll go back and read all of it. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So typically, how I write is find a meaning for the song. So just for example, Worlds Away, we wanted that song to be. We wanted it to be written about the people we lost over the years. Like I lost one of my best friends back in 2015, and my grandpa in 2015. My guitarist had lost a couple friends, and pretty much wanted to just kind of write a song together about losing people, and not really in a depressing way, more of a remembering them. So I sat down and just kind of went with that topic and just started writing probably like four line paragraphs, and just kept going with that until I had like a whole list of pretty much verses, I guess you could say. And I would go through, read them with the band, and we'd start picking out lines and be like, oh, well, hey, let's change this word to this, and let's add this to this line. And that's how we do it. I know it's kind of weird, but I have horrible ADD.
That's fair. So you specifically, what would you say your 3 biggest metal influences are?
Oh God, it changes constantly. But Uh, I'm gonna have to. Everybody gives me hell for this, but it was back in the day. This is the band that actually got me into the metalcore stuff. The Asking Alexandria.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong at all. Yeah.
Honestly, Reckless and Relentless is still one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But, I definitely grew up on hair metal though too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I grew up listening to like Bon Jovi, Whitesnake, Motley Crue, Def Leppard.
Oh yeah, dude.
Honestly, I think right now a lot of my influences are probably Asking Alexandria, old Asking Alexandria.
Yeah, good to make that specific.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I need drunken Danny, drunken drugged out Danny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so old Asking Alexandria, I'd say some Bad Omens, and a really big one is The Plot in You or Landon Tillers.
Mm,
Yeah.
Anything. He's the vocalist I aspire to be.
mm.
Yeah.
Lyrical content's great. His voice is amazing. The ranges he has, I love it all.
Awesome. That's a pretty good selection. I mean, I think we have reached the point in the interview where we've kind of opened it up to where you can say whatever you like to us, plug anything you want, ask us anything you want. So go for it.
How long has this channel been around, honestly?
Oh man.
Chris, you wanna start?
Yeah. How long has it been? Half a year, Connor?
Well, I mean, I technically started it in last September, but we didn't do anything up until this last February.
Right. So what happened was we started a podcast for fun, and then one day I started taking it seriously and making album reviews on a near daily basis, and we started picking up like a subscriber a day or so. And so Connor jumped in a little bit, and then he was promoting memes and stuff on Instagram, and we got a couple of bands reach out to us and see if we wanted to talk to them, and we did, and we've just continued doing that and asking people if they'd like to talk to us, and now interviewing people is kind of our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just kind of stumbled into it, but we've been really just going for solid for, let's see, February, March, April, May, 4.5 full months. And we have like almost 70 videos out on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, we're small and new, but
Yeah.
we're legit.
We're trying.
Hey, look, man, you already did the interview. It's too late to back out.
I didn't sign up for this shit, man.
There's the curse word I was promised during that message. Maybe I need to give a disclaimer to people before we do interviews, because I get in some of our past interviews, they're like, wait, can I cuss? Can I cuss? And I'm like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
Dude, we got interviewed. We got interviewed on the radio one time. This guy's podcast. He worked at the radio station. He didn't realize when he went in how he still wants things kind of clean, almost like how they do on the radio, like any rock station on the radio, where they're like being discreet about the way they say things.
Yeah.
We didn't realize he was wanting us to do it, because he started off with like, oh yeah, me and some buddies were getting hammered and we were at the strip club doing this and this, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is this kind of interview. So we started talking about stuff, and I don't remember what was said, but somebody said something. He like stopped recording and goes, yeah, no, we can't say that. And we're like, oh, it's that kind of interview.
Yeah, we're pretty much anything goes channel, but I mean, I don't think this is gonna happen. But if something just horrendous is said, I'll just put a big bleep button over it. But besides that, say whatever you want.
Yeah.
I take the Joe Rogan approach. You just say whatever you want, because it's a podcast and nobody is your boss.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sweet.
Yeah, I realize now that I was being a little professional.
That's okay.
No, it's totally fine, man.
Yeah.
But if there's anything else you want to plug, whether it be your own band, or I know you said that you were considering guitarists or whatever, if you want to put the feelers out for musicians, you can, or shut the door as hard as you know, either way.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we have 2 guitarists and a bassist in mind right now. Nothing's set. So if anybody who does watch this, if you're remotely in the Atlanta area, all we ask is you have a car, you have your equipment, and you have a job, and no drug problems.
That last one is important.
Yeah.
I used to play with a bunch of guys, but I have nothing against weed. Like, if you want to smoke weed, I personally don't. But if you want to smoke, smoke. I don't care. You do you. It becomes a problem when you show up to practices stoned out of your mind and can't function. When I have a problem with it.
That would finish you.
Yeah.
That's how straight edge got started. They don't actually care about the ethics of it. They just need a sober band.
Man. Like I said, we're trying to pump shit out so that way we can get rock and roll again. We don't really have anything set of when we want stuff to come out. We're kind of aiming towards the end of the year, but no guarantee on anything yet. But all we're asking is people to just follow our social media and keep up with us when we are kind of active. I know we're really dead right now, but
that's all right.
We're trying.
I feel you, man. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I follow your accounts now, I'm pretty sure, and we will definitely be interested in hearing this new EP when it drops.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, dude.
Also, if you guys ever start doing live shows again when this is over, we'd love to come see you guys.
That's true.
Oh, absolutely.
We're in Chattanooga all the time. That's just 2 hours away.
Yeah, I'm down.
Hey, and if you ever come up to Chattanooga or Nashville for a live show, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, definitely. I know as soon as we start playing, we're really gonna start trying to hit places because I don't want to focus. Yes, I do want to play a lot of, not really a lot, but a good amount of hometown shows. But I definitely want to start spreading that radius.
Yeah, I feel that.
So yeah.
All right, man. Well, I think that just about sums it up, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet, dude. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Awesome, man. We'll see you. Good talking to you, Hunter.
Y'all take it easy.
Yeah.
You too.
You too.